Have you ever felt like Virgo is the most difficult sign to deal with? Maybe you've had a Virgo friend, partner, or colleague who constantly criticized everything, refused to compromise, or seemed emotionally distant. Or perhaps you are a Virgo yourself, always striving for perfection, misunderstood by those around you, and wondering why people see you as difficult. In astrology, Virgo is often labeled as one of the most hated signs, but is this really the truth? Or is Virgo simply the most misunderstood? Governed by Mercury, the planet of intellect and communication, Virgos possess a sharp analytical mind, an unwavering sense of discipline, and an innate desire for order. But beneath their seemingly cold and critical exterior lies a depth that few truly understand. In this video, we will unravel 21 deep truths about Virgo that will change the way you see them forever. Some of these traits might explain why they often frustrate others, while others will reveal a side of Virgo that few people ever notice. By the end of this journey, whether you are a Virgo or no one, you will have a new perspective on why they act the way they do. So stay with me until the end, because what you're about to hear might completely shift your understanding of this complex zodiac sign. And if you enjoy exploring astrology, psychology, and self-discovery, make sure to subscribe to Zen Mind Peaceful Life. This channel is dedicated to helping you understand yourself and those around you on a deeper level. Let's begin. 1. Virgos are perfectionists to the extreme. Ruled by Mercury, Virgo has an analytical mind that constantly seeks improvement. While this makes them incredibly efficient and reliable, it also means they struggle to accept anything less than perfect. Whether it's their work, their relationships, or even the way the dishwasher is loaded, Virgos have a very specific idea of how things should be done. To them, fixing mistakes isn't about being mean, it's about making things better. But to others, their constant nitpicking can feel exhausting. If you've ever felt like a Virgo was being too harsh, chances are they weren't trying to criticize you personally, they just can't turn off their need for precision. 2. They struggle to express emotions openly. Virgos are an earth sign, which makes them practical and grounded, but not necessarily emotionally expressive. Unlike water signs like Pisces or Cancer, who wear their hearts on their sleeves, Virgos process emotions logically. They may care deeply about you, but instead of saying, "I love you," they'll show it by fixing your car, helping you plan your week, or giving practical advice. The problem? Not everyone speaks the Virgo love language. People who crave emotional warmth and verbal affirmation may feel like Virgo is cold or distant when, in reality, they are expressing care in their own way. 3. They have a hard time trusting others. Virgo is naturally skeptical. They don't take people at face value and prefer to analyze situations before opening up. This means they rarely trust others immediately, especially when it comes to personal matters. If you're close to a Virgo, you might notice they take a long time to truly let you in. It's not that they don't like you, it's that they need to make sure they can rely on you. Once you earn their trust, they're incredibly loyal, but getting to that point requires patience. 4. They overthink everything. Virgo's ruling planet, Mercury, makes them fast thinkers. But it also causes them to overanalyze situations to the point of exhaustion. They replay conversations in their heads, worry about things that haven't happened yet, and stress over details that most people wouldn't even notice. This overthinking can make them seem anxious, restless, or even pessimistic. They don't mean to be negative, it's just that their minds are constantly scanning for potential problems. This is why they prefer structure and predictability. Uncertainty makes them feel uneasy. 5. They expect the same high standards from others. Virgos hold themselves to extremely high standards, which is admirable, but they also expect the same level of effort from those around them. If a Virgo gives 100% in a project, they don't understand why someone else would settle for 50%. This can create tension, especially in work environments or relationships where not everyone shares their work ethic. What Virgos see as encouraging excellence, others may perceive as being controlling or demanding. The key to getting along with Virgo? Understand that their expectations come from a place of wanting the best, not from a desire to boss people around. 6. They keep their true feelings hidden. If you've ever felt like a Virgo in your life was holding back emotionally, you're not imagining it. Virgos are extremely private individuals when it comes to their emotions. Unlike water signs like Cancer or Pisces, who openly express their feelings, Virgo processes everything internally. They analyze their emotions like a puzzle, trying to understand them logically before allowing themselves to feel them fully. This can make them appear distant, even to the people they love the most. It's not that they don't care, it's that they are afraid of being vulnerable. They see emotions as something that needs to be controlled rather than freely expressed. In relationships, this can be frustrating for their partners, who may feel like they're constantly guessing how Virgo really feels. If you are close to a Virgo, the best way to navigate this is to be patient and create a safe space where they feel comfortable opening up. Once they trust you, Virgos can be incredibly loyal and supportive partners or friends. But until then, don't expect them to wear their heart on their sleeve. 7. They can be harsh, but only because they care. Virgos are often accused of being too critical. They have a way of pointing out flaws that others might not even notice, and they rarely hold back when giving their opinion. To some, this comes across as nitpicking or even mean-spiritedness. But what many people fail to realize is that Virgo's criticism comes from a place of care. They genuinely want to help others improve and be the best version of themselves. If a Virgo is giving you feedback, it's because they believe in your potential. They don't waste their energy on people they don't care about. However, the problem is that not everyone responds well to this level of bluntness. While Virgos see it as constructive, others may take it personally. If you are a Virgo, learning how to soften your delivery and recognize when your advice is not needed can help you avoid unnecessary conflicts. If you have a Virgo in your life, try to see their criticism as an act of love rather than an attack. 8. They take breakups and rejection hard. Many people assume that Virgos move on quickly after a breakup because they seem so rational and put together. But in reality, Virgo struggles with letting go more than most signs. Their logical mind tells them to move forward, but their perfectionist tendencies make it hard for them to accept that something they invested in didn't work out. Virgos don't just get attached to people, they get attached to the idea of how things should have been. After a breakup, they may spend weeks or even months analyzing every detail, trying to figure out what went wrong and whether they could have done something differently. This overthinking can keep them stuck in the past, making it difficult for them to truly heal. What makes it worse is that Virgos rarely show their pain outwardly. Instead of crying on a friend's shoulder, they will throw themselves into work or other distractions, pretending everything is fine. But beneath the surface, they are struggling. If you're a Virgo, remind yourself that not everything is meant to be fixed. Some things, especially relationships, are beyond your control. And that's okay. If you have a Virgo friend who just went through a breakup, don't assume they're fine just because they seem composed. They probably need more support than they're willing to ask for. 9. They retreat into solitude when stressed. When life gets overwhelming, different zodiac signs cope in different ways. Fire signs, like Aries or Leo, might blow off steam by socializing or engaging in intense physical activity. Water signs might seek emotional support from their loved ones. But Virgos? They disappear. Virgos have an instinctive need to withdraw and process their thoughts alone. When they're dealing with stress, they don't want to talk about it right away. They need space to sort through their emotions, analyze the situation, and come up with a logical solution. This tendency can be frustrating for their friends and family. If you reach out to a Virgo during a difficult time and they don't respond, it's not because they don't appreciate your support, it's because they don't know how to accept it yet. If you care about a Virgo, the best thing you can do is give them time. Let them retreat into their own world, but remind them that you're there when they're ready. And if you are a Virgo, Remember that you don't have to carry everything alone. Learning to lean on others can make your challenges much easier to bear. 10. They have a hard time relaxing. Even when everything is going well. Virgo's mind never stops. They are constantly thinking, analyzing, and planning for the future. Their need for structure and organization makes them excellent problem solvers. But it also makes it incredibly difficult for them to truly relax. For Virgo, downtime can feel like wasted time. They often struggle with guilt if they're not being productive, which is why they tend to fill their schedules with endless tasks and responsibilities. Even when they do take a break, they might find themselves worrying about things they should be doing instead. This relentless drive for perfection can lead to burnout, anxiety, and exhaustion. If you are a Virgo, it's important to remind yourself that rest is not laziness, it's essential for your well-being. Taking time to relax and enjoy the moment doesn't mean you're being unproductive. In fact, allowing yourself to recharge will actually make you more effective in the long run. If you know a Virgo, encourage them to take breaks and remind them that they don't have to be on all the time. Sometimes, the best thing they can do for themselves is to simply breathe and let go of the need to control everything. 11. They are extremely proud and hate feeling undervalued. Virgos are natural givers. They will go out of their way to help you, whether it's offering advice, fixing a problem, or handling small details that no one else notices. However, what most people don't realize is that Virgo expects recognition for their efforts. This doesn't mean they seek applause or grand gestures. What they want is simple appreciation. If they feel like their efforts are being taken for granted, they will withdraw. Unlike some signs that express disappointment openly, Virgos won't always tell you that they feel unappreciated. Instead, they will silently distance themselves, and you may not even realize why. If you have a Virgo in your life, a simple thank you goes a long way. And if you are a Virgo, remember that your worth isn't determined by how much you do for others. It's okay to set boundaries and expect reciprocity in relationships. 12. They are cautious in love and hard to win over. Virgos do not fall in love easily. Unlike impulsive fire signs who dive headfirst into romance, Virgo takes their time. They analyze, observe, and assess before allowing themselves to trust someone emotionally. This makes them appear distant or uninterested, but in reality, they are simply being careful. A big part of this comes from past experiences. If a Virgo has been hurt before, they will build emotional walls to protect themselves. They will test a potential partner without even realizing it, looking for consistency, loyalty, and intellectual compatibility. If you're trying to win a Virgo's heart, patience is key. They don't respond well to overly aggressive or dramatic displays of affection. Instead, show them through actions, be reliable, intelligent, and sincere. Once a Virgo lets you in, they are one of the most devoted and stable partners in the Zodiac. 13. They struggle with expressing their own needs. Virgos are naturally self-sufficient. They don't like relying on others, and they certainly don't enjoy asking for help. While this makes them incredibly independent, it also means they often suffer in silence when they need support. They may offer help to others freely, yet when they are the ones struggling, they convince themselves that they should be able to handle it alone. This can lead to feelings of burnout, frustration, and even resentment, especially if they feel like no one notices how much they are carrying. If you know a Virgo, check in on them. They may not openly express that they are overwhelmed, but a simple, "How are you doing? Do you need anything?" can mean the world to them. If you are a Virgo, remember that vulnerability is not weakness. You don't have to do everything on your own. 14. They have unrealistic expectations about love and relationships. Virgos have a tendency to idealize relationships, particularly at the beginning. They often go into a relationship with high hopes, expecting their partner to meet a certain standard, one that may not always be realistic. Because they are so detail-oriented, they notice every little flaw. A Virgo in love will try to fix their partner, believing that they are helping them grow. However, this can sometimes backfire, as not everyone wants to be improved or changed. This perfectionist approach to love can make relationships challenging. Virgos need to learn that no one is perfect, and expecting an idealized version of love will only lead to disappointment. If you are dating a Virgo, remind them that love is about acceptance, not just improvement. And if you are a Virgo, try to embrace the imperfections in both yourself and your partner. 15. They are extremely loyal, but only if you earn it. Virgos do not give their loyalty easily. They take time to observe and analyze people before deciding whether someone is worthy of their trust. However, once they commit to someone, whether as a friend, partner, or colleague, they are unwaveringly loyal. The problem is, Virgo's loyalty comes with conditions. They expect honesty, consistency, and effort in return. If you betray their trust or show signs of disloyalty, they won't give second chances easily. Unlike some signs that forgive and forget, Virgo remembers everything. This trait can make Virgos seem harsh, but it's simply their way of protecting themselves from being hurt. If you have earned a Virgo's loyalty, cherish it. And if you ever break their trust, know that rebuilding it will be a long and difficult process. 16. They don't handle rejection well. Virgos may seem calm and collected on the outside, but rejection hits them harder than most people realize. Whether it's in love, work, or friendships, they take rejection as a sign that they weren't good enough, and for a sign that thrives on improvement. This can be devastating. Instead of expressing their pain openly, Virgo internalizes it. They go into analysis mode, replaying every detail in their mind, wondering what they could have done differently. This overthinking can lead to self-doubt, and in some cases, they may even withdraw from social interactions to avoid experiencing rejection again. If you have a Virgo in your life who seems distant after a rejection, understand that they are processing things in their own way. And if you are a Virgo, remember that rejection is not always a reflection of your worth, it's just part of life. And not every situation is meant to work out. 17. They can be extremely stubborn when they believe they're right. Virgos are known for their intelligence and analytical abilities. They don't form opinions based on emotions or assumptions, they rely on logic, facts, and research. This makes them incredibly knowledgeable, but it also means that once they've reached a conclusion, they rarely change their minds. While this intellectual confidence is one of their greatest strengths, it can also make them come across as stubborn or unwilling to consider other perspectives. In debates or disagreements, Virgo will present their argument with precision, and they expect others to do the same. If someone relies on emotion rather than logic, Virgo may dismiss their point of view entirely. This can be frustrating for those who just want to be heard rather than corrected. If you're dealing with a Virgo, the best way to get through to them is to back up your arguments with logic and facts. And if you are a Virgo, remember that sometimes, listening and understanding are more important than proving a point. 18. They struggle with letting loose and having fun. Virgos take life seriously. They are constantly thinking about their responsibilities, their goals, and how to improve things. While this makes them highly productive and successful, it also means they struggle with letting go and enjoying the moment. Unlike fire signs like Leo or Sagittarius, who live for spontaneity and excitement, Virgo prefers structure and predictability. They like knowing what's going to happen next, and they feel uncomfortable when things get too chaotic. This can make them seem like they don't know how to have fun, but that's not entirely true. Virgos do enjoy themselves, but in their own way. They prefer meaningful conversations over loud parties, well-planned trips over last-minute adventures, and intellectual stimulation over mindless entertainment. If you're trying to help a Virgo loosen up, don't pressure them into things that make them uncomfortable. Instead, find activities that align with their interests, like a puzzle-solving game, a well-organized trip, or a deep, thought-provoking discussion. And if you are a Virgo, remind yourself that it's okay to take a break from your responsibilities and enjoy life. 19. They are harder on themselves than anyone else. If you think Virgos are critical of others, you should see how they treat themselves. Their perfectionist tendencies don't just apply to the outside world, they are constantly analyzing and critiquing their own actions, thoughts, and performance. This inner dialogue can be exhausting. Virgos set incredibly high standards for themselves, and when they don't meet those standards, they can spiral into self-doubt and frustration. They may dwell on past mistakes for years, replaying them over and over in their minds. This is why validation is so important for Virgo. They don't necessarily seek attention or compliments, but they do need reassurance that they are doing well. If you know a Virgo, take the time to acknowledge their hard work and efforts. It means more to them than you might realize. And if you are a Virgo, remember that perfection is an illusion, and it's okay to be kind to yourself. 20. They are selective about who they let into their lives. Virgos are not the type to have a huge social circle. Unlike air signs like Gemini or Libra, who thrive on constant social interaction, Virgo prefers quality over quantity. They don't waste time on shallow relationships, they carefully choose who they invest their energy in. This selectiveness can make them seem standoffish or even judgmental, but in reality, they are simply protecting their peace. They don't let just anyone into their inner world because they know how much energy it takes to maintain meaningful relationships. If you're in a Virgo's close circle, consider yourself lucky. It means they see you as someone truly valuable. And if you're trying to get close to a Virgo, be patient and consistent, they take time to build trust. But once they do, they will be one of the most loyal and dependable people in your life. 21. They are obsessed with order and cannot stand chaos. Virgos thrive on structure, routine, and efficiency. They need things to be in order, whether it's their workspace, their schedule, or even their thoughts. This is why they often feel overwhelmed in chaotic environments. When things don't go according to plan, Virgo experiences anxiety. They don't handle surprises well, and they struggle with last-minute changes. This need for control can make them seem rigid. But it's really just their way of maintaining a sense of stability in an unpredictable world. If you're working or living with a Virgo, respecting their need for order will make things much easier. And if you are a Virgo, remind yourself that not everything can be controlled. Learning to embrace uncertainty can help you find more peace in life. Final thoughts: Virgo is not difficult, they are just different. After breaking down these 21 reasons, it's clear that Virgo is not actually a hated sign, they are just deeply misunderstood. Their perfectionism, emotional reserve, and high standards can be challenging for others to navigate. But when you take the time to understand them, you realize that everything they do comes from a place of care, intelligence, and a desire to make things better. If you are a Virgo, remember that your strengths can also be your weaknesses if not managed properly. Learning to balance your need for control with flexibility, and your high standards with self-compassion, will help you live a more fulfilling life. And if you know a Virgo, try to appreciate them for who they truly are rather than expecting them to change. Once you understand their mindset, you'll see that they are some of the most loyal, reliable, and insightful people you could ever have in your life. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Virgo's personality, don't forget to subscribe to Zen Mind Peaceful Life for more astrological insights and self-discovery content. Stay tuned for our next video, where we'll explore another misunderstood zodiac sign. Can you guess which one?